What's up, everyone? This is the best of 2019 podcast in regards to records. This is not a greatest hits podcast or anything. It's a new podcast. But wanted to thank everyone for the year 2019, the first year of doing this podcast. I think I started on May 1st. And I appreciate all the support that everyone has showed this year. And if you want to support the podcast, please like, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And again, if we get to 150 ratings on Apple Podcasts, I will do a deep dive on Fugazi. And if you can get me there by January 15th, I will also say I love Daniel Sant in between every single album. If you want to go the extra mile, please go to patreon.com/185 miles south and become a Patreon. And I'm not exaggerating when I say these are my serious heroes. They're guys that are really showing that they support and back what I'm trying to do here. And I don't think that I would be doing it at this point without them. I had no plan when I started this thing. I just wanted to interview a bunch of my favorite people in punk and hardcore that I thought were underrepresented, if that's a word. And that's what I did. And it's expensive to travel around. It's expensive to buy equipment. It takes a shit ton of time. But thank you to the Patreons for their help. And thank you to everyone who listens every week. Please spread the word about this podcast if you like it. And also, if you want to do anything out there, just do it. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a band, if you want to start a zine, whatever, you just got to jump in feet first. It's the only way to do anything. The first episodes of this podcast were recorded with like a $50 Snowball microphone hooked into a laptop, recording through Audacity, which is like a free program on the Windows stuff. And you just got to jump in and do it if you believe in a project that you're doing. And that's it. Take the criticism as being constructive. Take the accolades as support for people who love you, and don't compare your success against other people. That's a very easy way to be miserable. So you got to just appreciate the support you have, because every person backing you, it's fucking amazing. It's awesome that anyone tunes in to this anyway, because we're a bunch of fucking freaks that like some freak ass music. And it's pretty rare as fuck. So anyway, this is the end of. We're looking back on 2019. I want to try to get Joe and Stu on just to see if they want to chime in real quick. And I'm gonna try Joe right now.
Hello.
Hey, that quick pickup. That's what I like. Hey, Joe, you're on the pod.
Hey, what's happening?
What up? This is the year-end pod. The intro for it, I did it with Daniel and Greg. We went over our favorites of 2019. And
okay, cool.
I just wanted to see, how was 2019 for Joe Rivas, and what are you looking forward to in 2020?
Yeah, 2019 was pretty cool. We got Out of Trust back together. We got a new record ready, almost. Just waiting for Roger to mix that, and No Motive was great. That reunion, civil conflict, and so much stuff happening here in the Nard, in Ventura. It's been fantastic being able to do this pod with you.
Yeah, man.
And Stu, becoming friends with Stu.
I think that's the bright spot of the year, huh? Becoming friends with Stu.
Yeah, I would say so. I got these pots for him. Got to come get these pots. But if you're going to call him next, tell him come get this shit.
Because I've been acquainted. It's funny. In punk and hardcore, you can be acquaintances with someone for 10 or 15 years, and then you become friends.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny how your ships pass in the night kind of thing, but you never really become tight, and then all of a sudden you're tight. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been really cool. It's been really cool, to reconnect with my brother in music, my actual brother. You know, get him out to shows, and he's really excited about music again. You know, he put it down for a long time, and you know, he went to school and he became a dad, and you know, that was his focus. And
put a single on Marlboro Records.
Yeah, all that happened, and then it changed. You know, and now he's my nephew's in college, and he doesn't have that. I don't want to say Carlo was ever a burden, my nephew, but
No, that's a serious responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Now Davi can.
He took it very serious.
Yeah, and now he can just let his dick swing, fucking play some rock and roll again.
Yeah, so that's been cool. Ultimately, the pod has probably been my favorite part of the year, and not just the stuff that I've been involved with, but everything you have done on your own has been fantastic. I wrote a song lyric today too, which is funny for our new, our trust is writing this, under 2-minute song for the comp, for the non-4 comp.
Sorry to put limitations on punk rock, man.
But I came up with this lyric, so I'm going to send that to you soon here.
I can't wait.
You're going to laugh. I mean, we're not going to use it, but I just thought it was funny.
That's cool.
Because I'm just trying to incorporate, things that have actually happened this year into this song, because it's kind of important to what the song's about,
Yeah.
So, 2020's got a lot coming, man.
We will see, huh?
Yeah. 2 comps at least.
Yeah.
We know of. And just a whole lot of things, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to unveil them together with you.
Yeah.
And we'll do proper on everything.
Yeah. We'll get all that stuff. This is just projecting on what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
okay, bud. Yeah. So nice to have you on the final show of the year. It's been an interesting ride, and I've been really fortunate to have you be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for thinking that I'm important enough to have part of it. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, come on.
I was thinking that we need to do a massive roundtable with Daniel, Greg, Stu, myself, and you.
The rig only holds 4 mics, man.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, I know
we'll pay
we should.
Each other in or something. And
maybe that's what we should do for episode 100, huh?
Yeah.
So a year from now, that's what we'll do. We'll get everyone in a room.
Man, that seems so far away.
I know, but at 52 weeks of the year, so it'll hit. As long as I don't get hit by a fucking bus. So it's always in the realm of possibility.
You're kidnapped in Mexico or something.
Hey, dude, you never know. So, but yeah, Joe, thanks for 2019. I appreciate you being my friend and always being there for me.
Always, man. Always.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, man. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
What up, dude? You're on the pod.
Hold on.
Yep.
What up, dude?
What up? I'm doing the intro for the year end, and I did it with Daniel and Greg, and I just wanted to circle with you and get any final thoughts for the year or anything you're looking forward to in 2020.
With what?
With whatever, dude. How's life?
Well, life's good, dude.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'm fucking chilling, having a beer with Robert right now.
Sick.
At Toppers, yeah.
Dude. Toppers, Oxnard, California. What's up?
Yeah, that's what's up, dude. Fucking chilling here at the harbor. Like, this spot is the shit.
Yeah, you know that location? Like, it could never hold a business. Like,
Yeah.
since I was a child, like, that place
Yeah.
went in and out forever. And
Yeah,
finally, like, Toppers.
this whole
like,
area.
yeah. Well, the Lobster Trap was there forever.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that fish and chip spot, is that Lobster Trap?
like, down at the very, very end, it used to be a Lobster Trap. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to get you on the final episode of the year, man. That's all. I mean, I guess it's going to be on January 1st, so we're like
Cool.
we're like reminiscing in the future, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, but that's all. So,
Dude, I love how the Retaliate episodes are going to be the Christmas episodes.
hey, Merry Christmas, motherfuckers! What's up?
It's so ridiculous.
by now, I hope everyone liked it. Because this
So
episode will be 1 week after that. Nah, we just
Okay,
we let our hair down and fucking had a few drinks and talked. I mean, I really think that people that play this kind of music, a lot of times they think you got to just go for it.
Yeah.
And I think that you should, right? When you're young and you're pushing like your art, you should get it out there for the world when you believe in it. But
Absolutely.
But I also think that there's a merit to finding a group of friends and being friends forever and liking to do things together. And that's our approach. And I hope that people see that that's like one way to do it,
100%. Yeah. I mean, you wrote the lyric, dude.
Which was,
what was it? It was in It Can Happen.
well, we're going way back now.
hang with your bros, and share a feeling that no one else knows.
Yeah, man. Like this is no one understands it, right? So,
Yeah.
Keep the people that are close to you close. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's been a fun ride with them. And it's been a fun ride with you this year, Stu. I appreciate your help.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm happy to be a part, dude. Like 100%.
Yeah, I think it's been fun. And couldn't do it without you and the legend, episode 1, Joe Rivas.
Fuck.
So,
Fucking love that pool.
yeah, enjoy your pizza, man. I'll see you soon.
All right, dude. Later.
Like, that was awesome. I'm glad that I got Joe and Stu. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about me, Greg, and Daniel's lists for 2019. I'm sure you'll get honest because Greg chooses something from 2018. He chose Mind Force Excalibur. But it's a great fucking release. And it's really hard to keep track these days of when stuff comes out. First off, because there's like not necessarily a definitive list to go and find a date that I know of. If there is one, please email it to me. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't buying tangible items anymore where you hold it in your hand and you remember like, oh, it was around this time that I bought that LP at that one store. I still buy a lot of records. A lot of records. It's pretty weird. But, for a lot of releases, they come out on Spotify or whatever, and they just become part of our lives. And it's hard to kind of remember when they entered our lives or not. So forgive Greg for that. But let's praise Mind Force for doing a timeless record. 2018, 2019 to infinity. And that's it. Let's start the show.
"185 Miles South", a hardcore punk rock podcast.
Side, and I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I've never known what Infest lyrics are because they go too fast.
Yeah. Just gotta get up on it.
We are not against rap. We are not against rappers. That's one of the best sample.
What is the feedback? It's weird, no? Hey.
Look at that dainty beer glass.
No, that's boo.
something
okay.
super hot. I think my mic is really fucking hot.
I don't think so.
Really? This shit's whoa.
Hot
It's not
mic.
good. Which,
Is it me?
well, you can always kill it like that minus 10 decibels on the back.
Yeah. Do you have like check? Is everyone minus 10?
Check.
dB?
Nah, it's normal unless you need it.
Dude.
I need my 10 decibels because I've been talking all fucking
Oh,
day.
you know what? Maybe just the volume on my cans.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my shit-
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, now...
Shit is- oh, that's way better. dude.
Okay, so you're number 2. Alrighty.
And you did say cans.
We gotta keep
like
all
we're
this.
recording We Are the World.
I said
We gotta
cans.
keep all this because I want Dane don't think that my little
Hey,
whiskey snifter was a beer.
when was the? when
So I
was
thought
the-
it was one of those craft beer glasses where you're like, oh, it must be served in this to get the maximum Indian pale ale aroma.
No, it was such a cute little straight edge moment. I want to keep that in.
When was the
So
last
endearing.
time you watched the We Are the World studio video where they're all in there belting it out?
Very recently, because we played Band-Aid at work, and then we watched the Band-Aid video, and then we played We Are the World, and then we played the metal one. What's the metal one called?
I don't know. Do you hear like a...
Yeah, I hear it.
What is that?
Somewhere out here.
Yeah, somewhere
Something.
in real life.
No, it's not in real life.
It has to be in real life.
Dude, take your cans off, bro.
I know. It's like
It's not there.
It's tapping in some dog whistle shit.
There's something that's just.
Well, I think my phone's hooked to the Bluetooth because it's just technology. That's how it works. Anyway, so let's bring everyone in, huh?
All right, well, anyway, we were talking about before technical difficulties arose, the We Are the World recording that Quincy Jones put together. It was for AIDS, right?
For,
Or for
hunger in
okay,
Africa.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Could have been anything in the 80s. They did like Farm Aid and shit.
Yeah,
too.
you pick your cause, but Huey Lewis absolutely fucking crushes his part. Like if you watch it, like he smokes. Bob Dylan's in there, right?
Yeah.
Fucking smokes Dylan.
I mean, who?
Like-
84.
Bob Dylan is a songwriter, not a song performer.
True. All right.
You know.
No,
Also,
but
who vouches for 84 Dylan?
Yeah.
true.
Dude, 84 Dylan, that's my shit.
No, but you can watch like anyone who's listening to this, go watch the awesome studio footage of them doing We Are the World and look at how Huey Lewis's face. He's just like, I fucking absolutely crushed that take.
Have you?
And Al Jarreau fucking smokes it. As well.
Are you familiar with Band-Aid?
No, I'm not.
Do they know it's Christmas time?
No.
See, that's
School
the
me.
English one that came first, you know. But what I will say, Jesus,
Oh, good lord.
Zach, your mic just went.
We're just gonna have to cut this too.
Yeah.
God.
Well, the great thing about Band-Aid is that it was supposed to be started by David Bowie, but he couldn't make it, and so
Is that like a Bowie ass thing to do?
I don't know the '80s Paul Young, the star of the '80s, ended up singing Bowie's part and his own part later on. But the thing that really rules on it is all the Boy George kind of little ad lib like later on.
Is in there in the back just
Well, he has a verse, but then he also like just adds on at the end, and it's great.
What did you guys want to cut about this? This is awesome. Anyway, so my microphone took a tumble when I was gathering the presents.
That's right.
Okay, well, this pod is an end of the year pod. It's going to air on January 1st. So we're going to talk about all of 2019. Unfortunately, we missed Christmas. And I missed you guys. So, but I got you each something. Daniel, much needed. So that's 22 songs on a 7-inch by the only band that can do it properly. Who Am I? DRI. Hit the fucking button. I don't know which one it is. And then Greg, because I keep pushing on you
Oh, nice.
for years and years, I'm like,
Thank you very much for my dirty, rotten imbeciles.
yeah. And then Greg gets Verbal Assault Trial because I still think, even though he's the riff master already, that's a record that can change your life.
Yeah, no,
before
I-
Daniel shits on it.
I have absolutely slept
What?
on
Why would I
Verbal
shit on that?
Assault.
It's great.
Oh, you already got the shitting on it already on the other part.
No, it just didn't get. It didn't get like both hands and
Thank
mouth.
you, man. I
wrapped around
appreciate
it.
this.
Yeah, and
Very cool.
that's the original too. There's a great repress. So for everyone out there, there's no excuse to not have Verbal Assault Trial in your record collection because it just got repressed, and it's out there for everyone. But yeah, so this week we are going to go into our favorite releases of the year 2019. Daniel, you always have a million honorable mentions. Do you want to do those? And we'll sit in silence and say that we only came up with the 5.
I can't even find one. Shit. Hold on.
All right. Well, we can move on to one other thing because Greg is here. We didn't want to take offense on our lists, but it would have made all our lists, and so I want to delve into that record a little bit. So, Take Offense, Keep an Eye Out came out in November.
No, October.
Okay, October. So it's still only a couple months old, and it is a hell of a record. So what went into it? Like, it's a pretty heavy right turn.
Well, there's riffs on there that are 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. It's pretty much the last Take Offense full length was 2013. That's United States of Mind, and then after that, did like about a year of touring, and then we kind of like severely, put the brakes on, and everyone, life shit gets in the way. And then at that time, I just kept writing songs and writing riffs, but I'm not one of those. I'm just gonna put a shit load of stuff out like quantity. I'm more like a quality guy, so I'll just keep picking at a riff for months and just kind of like just tweaking it a little bit to make it really stand out. And then most of those songs, like I didn't even really demo any of them because I could just remember them. And that's always like the great sign that if you can just always remember these things.
Yeah, it was catchy enough to stay in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Where you don't have to go and make like a demo recording of it, which then I eventually did. So yeah, it's a lot of songs that just could stand the test of time, I guess. So
Is it a little reactionary? Because it's you pull out like the record's not heavy, and the record like you make kind of a turn away from the thrash thing or the crossover thing. It's a more riffy record, but it's not it's not straightforward anymore. It's like there's almost nothing you can compare it to. You can almost like maybe say like, oh, that sounds almost like a riff on the second Leeway record on Desperate Major or something. But otherwise, it's like, dude, the first 3 songs on the record, like, what the fuck do they even sound like?
it's definitely kind of reactionary. I think, right now too, this is so stupid too, because we're all just playing styles of music that were done 30 years ago too, but we're just, doing our takes and versions of them. But yeah, that quote unquote crossover sound it's very popular now, which is cool. So
yeah, but you laid arguably the groundwork for it being as a band. As an outsider looking in, I will say that Take Offense laid that groundwork for everyone to appreciate that style.
Yeah, of course.
Not the only ones. But,
no. There's a handful of us, I guess, that came in mid 2000s and started doing that type. So for this record, I was like, okay, well, how do I make this stand out? But not in a Proovies type of way where it's like, well, I want to be completely different than everybody kind of shit.
But a little Proovies. Because
no.
that shit is like, there's a lot of people chasing that sound, and it is sick, and a lot of people do it really well, including someone on my list, the Mighty Mighty Dead Heat from Oxnard, California.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's with, I don't know, if you're a band and you're doing that sound and knocking it out of the park, and a lot of people are doing the same sound, and maybe, you're not necessarily breaking through, right? Mm-hmm. Like, in my opinion, you should be as big as like an Anthrax or something, And because, I think your band is that good. But it's like you're almost like saying, chase this. Like, if you're following us doing this type of music, there's no way anyone can catch this. This is fucking stupid.
Well, one of the things is I'm not trying to write our previous record.
Of course.
So automatically, also too, like everyone in the band, we all listen. I mean, this is really fucking cliche. It's like we all listen to different types of music.
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of different types of music, and I'd say the past couple of years I got really into just trying to better myself at playing guitar, and not like on a like I gotta prove to people that I can do this. It's mostly for me, where I have like I set standards of what I want to try to do at guitar. And then, for this record, I mean, like I fucking, in order to pull some of the shit off on it, I had to practice, with, 8 hours with a fucking metronome for, a couple months while working, a full-time job, which sucks. The last thing I want to do is, sit in my room and just, play a fucking scale, ridiculously slow. But it was just the challenge, and it was just to push it, because you're already, learning new techniques, and you're like, well, how can we push the band? How can I push this further? Well, it's like, well, I need to get some techniques down, get some skills down. But also too, I listen to an absurd amount of heavy metal and
Sure.
rock and 70s rock, 70s metal, 80s rock, 80s metal, and lots of bands will kind of say that they like this shit, but they're not really listening to these records.
Not about that life.
No, I'm just a fan of rock guitar.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Snake Sabo creeping in there.
So that's what,
there are some people that will leeway's where it ends.
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And
Of course.
that's the,
Of course.
one thing that I've been, in bands, and I've been peers with many people in bands, and in going into writing a hardcore record, there are not many hardcore kids that will put themselves in the lab and work on something and define it, because it all usually happens at practice, the songs kind of come out of everyone playing together. But since we've been recording these pods, that was something that I noticed and thought was pretty amazing, that you were just at home working on shit away from the band, and then you will take it to the band when it's perfected and you'll say, this is what it is. And was there something about the way AH approached the vocals that he was determined to do them differently, without as much yelling and a lot more kind of sound?
That's the other thing. I could go off and write the most, what some people would be like, wow, this riff is really crazy, or this is absurd sounding. But as soon as I take it, and as soon as we add all the other members of TO and the other elements of Take Offense, and then AH gets in there and puts his take and his vocals on it, it's always going to bring it back to where it's a Take Offense song.
Sure.
So, and that's one of the, maybe people will, I'm biased because I listen to it. I'm like, yeah, this is obviously us. And then, if someone goes whoa, they completely went off the fucking, the deep end, or they totally took a right turn. Or if you've been kind of listening to the first shit that we did.
Well,
to each record,
the last 7-inch lubed it up a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. It was already kind of going that route. And actually that last 7-inch, those songs were also supposed to be on this LP, but we did those, that 7-inch came out because we needed to be active.
But were the conscious decisions of hey, I want the vocals to be different from everything else that's out there, so I'm going to kind of approach it this way? Or was it just kind of a natural thing? I'm just singing like this now.
With AH, he just goes in there and it just comes out. I don't think he definitely knows how he wants to sound and what he wants to do. But I mean, AH and I were fucking killing ourselves in the studio. We were going up there and going really hard.
Yeah.
And, to where, and shout out to Nick for just having, he's like a monk, just the patience and the zen. And I mean, he's a huge factor in all this as well. Cause, I would come to the sessions with all of this material, because like I said, we've had all these riffs and
he
songs.
actually produced it.
Yeah, it was.
He's well, try this. Maybe think of that.
It was both of us, and we both sat there, and he had that perfect mix of just kind of helping structure them. I already kind of had some skeletons, and to kind of make it more hook driven, which would help, AH like come up with his parts more and do his thing. But I think he just would, like, when I would go in there and see, like, he just kind of wings it at first. I think just like has his idea, and then he just goes back and refines it and works on each part. But I mean, we both had what we wanted to put down and what we wanted to sound and what we wanted to hit, and we were just going in there and just hitting it, failing, or like, I could do it better, I could do it better, I could do it better. And it was very, very fucking brutal and very hard. So
Yeah,
Something to be proud of. For
just,
sure.
just one
absolutely.
note about AH is, I think on this record he was able to find his non-yelling voice,
Yeah.
like where it needs to be, because he's done it on all the records going back to the first one, but this time it really cuts through, and it's like it's great. He knocked it out of the park on this
But
record.
I was saying, like, when I listen to this one, it seems like, it would be a one-off part back in the day, whereas now it's
Yeah, now
leading
it's
a lot.
the whole thing,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a lot of
But you stripped a lot of the heaviness out of the sound, so the heaviness goes with like the heavier voice.
Yeah, I mean, heaviness in what way? Just like less
Like a
emphasis
distortion,
on
on,
like just
just
mosh.
distortion on the guitars.
Yeah,
and hitting the big riffs.
Yeah.
You still have obviously big riffs on the record.
But if there was screaming over it, it would sound heavy as shit.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Is I kind of purposely went with like a less gain style on the guitars.
Well, it makes it sound way more
for
technical.
more clear, like
Yeah.
clear playing,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No, I don't. I'm not pushing heavy as the
No,
as the move.
Yeah, but I mean, we also have, track 6 is literally just like the mosh track for idiots to yell out,
Which is
"Woo"
sick.
to in
Which
the background.
which is sick because
shut a venue down.
you went you went like intro on the second side,
Oh yeah,
and that is one of the hardest intros. It's so sick. So anyone out there needs to take offense, keep an eye out. It's on Pure Noise, and
Pure Noise Records, yeah.
yeah, pick that up. That's all of our number ones for 2019. Moving on, the other one we weren't going to talk about, but we all thought was ridiculous and awesome. Out of respect, I'm not even going to talk about the band. That I curl in fear in the corner.
Tsunami, you're a bitch.
Ill Demo, Untouchable.
The spelling of your is Y-O-U-R.
Yeah, as well thought out as the way the name was spelled.
It is so ignorant that it's it's so ignorant, the way that the samples, the way that the guest vocals come on, everything is just like picked up perfectly from the past.
When the on the first song with the guest vocal part just comes in, this full Cookie Monster is like, oh my god, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Is this
So-
the band with the video? They're like playing some house, and the singer goes like, "If you're not from the, there's two types
Yeah.
of people in this world. It's like
Yeah.
you're not from the Bay, you're a bitch." And
Yeah.
it's just like
And then everyone
just,
starts
just
punching each
pure
other.
ignorance
Yeah.
happens.
And then Daniel runs the pit.
No, Daniel goes, if I was there, I'd probably, unfortunately, get in a fight because I don't want someone running up and punching me in the face.
Or write an entire EP about what's wrong with this.
Yeah, I
what's wrong
definitely,
with this show.
I definitely could do that.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at that.
I have not heard the demo. I saw the video though, and I was like, "Yeah, this is definitely everyone there knows each other type."
Yes,
type of
without
music,
a doubt. But
you know? Which
the-
is good because you
the guitar tone on the demo, though, you gotta hear it.
keep
It's
it.
so,
It's so good, Craig.
it's so like it. The forehead is like this. I'm doing about 10 foot wide. It's like a Cro-Magnon riff and Cro-Magnon guitar sound, like beyond belief.
It was great because when I watched that video, like younger me would be like, "Yo, this is
Yeah.
so sick," and now I'm like,
What is
I'll
this?
entertain ideas like, "Man, I really want to try to like like find a new spot for like kids that like enjoy themselves. And then I watch a
Yeah.
video like that, and I'm like, oh no,
No.
like,
I'd almost rather.
I'm not
Like,
putting
I'm not
up the
even-
insurance.
my place is not even gonna make it to 3 months. Like, it's gonna get shut down immediately.
Yeah. So anyway, ups to those. You want to get into yours, Daniel? You want to toss out one of yours?
Sure. Torso, Build and Break. It's on Revelation. A kind of D-beat, straight edge, fast as fuck hardcore band from Oakland.
Yeah, real Swedish DB
Yeah,
style sound. Yeah,
but occasionally, like, you know, when it goes into a different riff, you're like, oh, it's just like what we were talking about earlier. You can pick certain things out
Yeah.
of. But I really like the lyrics. I love the whole approach. Giacomo, the drummer, is like one of the best drummers I've seen ever live. Like, he's just a ripper. Jasmine on bass is a ripper also.
And this is a new 7-inch. It's not an LP.
Yeah, just a 7-inch.
But
yeah.
they did an LP.
They've done an LP
is
in
that
the
on
past.
Rev as well?
No, I don't know what it was on, but it was one-sided and screened on the other, and it was an X'd up middle finger on one side, and it
Dude.
was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Take Daniel's money.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
I got to see them at the Shea, and it's one of those just like pleasant. I've never heard this band. I had know nothing about this band, and then I just watch them set up, and they just fucking rip. And they're so dialed in too, which is when you do that kind of sound, you're either gonna get like kind of just like Neanderthal like punk dudes that just have it cranked and it's just going to sound like pure shit, which there's some beauty in that too. I'm not saying that it's like you shouldn't do that. Obviously, express yourself however you want to express yourself. And then they're like they just hit it to where they still capture just that like total loud like raw blast of energy, but they just got it dialed in. It's just super clear and it punched. I was just really fucking impressed by all of it, because normally when I watch bands like that, I don't know, you lose a lot. I don't know, you lose some clarity with it. So they were fucking great. And then I forgot what bass. What was her name? Was rocking.
Jasmine?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fuck.
A Rickenbacker, I think.
Something, but it was just killer tone. Just
Yeah.
yeah. So I was sold. I was like, this thing is fucking awesome, and it was
Definitely
cool.
not a Squire.
Yeah, and it was just cool just to see like a straight edge band that style and just kind of letting it speak for itself. I didn't catch any big preachy vibes about it when I was watching them. It was just like boom, 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 boom.
The lyrics
boom. So
are
it was good.
outwardly political and in-scene political, kind of. So they're really good. And then you can tell there's a wide array of influences for each member of the band, and they're a really well-toured band too. So when they come back to record a record, it's like dialed in. And then, like I say, when you've got a drummer that's just holding the band together like that, it sounds like amazing.
I think it's just awesome that Rev is putting out something that sounds so abrasive.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look at the artwork, it kind of has like a almost like Discharge kind of like
It is
hear
black
nothing,
and white.
say nothing, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like vibe, kind of.
No, it's cool that Rev is picking up younger bands in general. They picked up that band Drain from San Jose too, which is cool. So it's good to see them just not relying on the old catalog and you know, letting watch out, throwing the youngins a bone. So that's cool.
And this band, like, this is their, you know, band together, but they're all in, like, you know, I think Jasmine is probably in like 5 to 6 bands, I swear.
So they're from the Bay Area. is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Giacomo drums for God, what? My mind just went blank. But the band that sounds like Thin Lizzy with the girl singer.
Oh, Sheerman.
Sheerman,
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, he drums for them.
cool.
And but yeah, they're really good. And if you haven't got that 7-inch, like, definitely go out and buy it.
Awesome. I am going to pick Downpresser, The Long Goodbye, the new LP on Closed Casket. And it took forever for this thing to come out, but it came out and it's awesome. I loved all the Downpresser EPs leading up to the LP, And then the first LP, I liked it a lot. But writing an LP is so hard. Like, you know, especially in a band without melody. And I don't know. It was good, but I don't know if it was as good as the other records. And this one now is like awesome. They've gotten a little bit catchier. I hate to say catchy, but a little bit like it's almost like
the songs leave themselves on your mind after you've listened to
He
it.
said he almost like they gave in and fucked a little bit with like almost choruses this time, right?
Yeah, no, I feel it.
And just this is full over the top, like double kick drum, like just punishing. Don't give a fuck. We'll play it for 90% of the song, just over the top. In a way that they just come out and they're punishing with it. Like I think it was 2 Deicide records ago, and the first song of the record, like the dude did double kick like through the whole song. It was like, oh shit. And that's kind of what this guy does. He's coming out and he's just laying it down. And what it is they're a wall of riffing noise, but it's creative and it's catchy. And Dan is witty as fuck. Dan is probably the best lyricist in hardcore. And I think now they have put out like an LP worthy. I'm not dissing the last record because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I know,
but this record's better.
I know what you're saying about like hardcore bands writing LPs though. Like there's a thing where, especially when you're a younger band, you've put out your demo, then your 7-inch usually. Then it's a race of collecting songs towards an LP, and then you do it. But then when you're a little bit older in the band, or the band has been around a bit longer, you throw songs away, before you put the LP out. But the first LP is always like, well, we had these 12 songs and we recorded them.
Well, I think it's more so the first time you run an LP, you actually are thinking a little too much about curating it. So you're like, I'm not just going to have all these songs and put it on a record. You're thinking like, well, maybe we should have we can do a little short, fast one here, and we can go with a sludgier song here and take people on a bigger journey. And I think that what they did with this new record is they just came out and everything's a fucking banger, and they didn't really think about like attacking like the sequencing art of an LP as much as just coming out and making sure that every song is punishing and the best song they can write.
And then when you have that, you don't really need the sequencing. You can just kind of
right.
Yeah, like you can put it on shuffle and
Yes.
you can still get like the same.
You don't need to
enjoyment out of
sequence
it.
when all 10 songs are fucking grabbing you by the throat.
We'll check it out because Take Offense to Down Press are like our brother bands. Like that's what we refer to each other as. And I mean, Don't Need a Reason came out 2013. That's when our last record came out, and we both dropped records late in the year. And this entire time period, and you can tell with them, and you could probably tell with us, like we've all been kind of, I don't know, getting older and listening and refining. Especially that one song, because I've only been hearing the singles, what they've been dropping, that Last Goodbye.
First song on the record.
Yeah, where I could just tell, like, Sean lays a fucking killer fucking solo. And then what's that line? Dan says, "Don't confuse a wick for a match." Or yeah, so it's just I could just tell, just same kind of journey. And
I think
just
that's
working on your craft and honing it and just kind of like carving out like your little signature, I'd say.
I think that's awesome to bring up, and I think it's one of the reasons why I love both your bands, is because most bands in that time frame
Break up.
that's when they would have broken up or whatever. But you look at your band and you're like, I love my fucking band, I love my catalog, I love what we've done, and I love the guys around me, and I know what we can do. So if you have to fucking hibernate a little bit, you guys basically like got a little introspective with your bands and came back and put out your like, you turned it up to 11, both your bands.
Yeah.
Right? And that's insane. That's like looking inside yourself and then finding it, instead of like, oh, I'm a little tired, I'm a little bored on this, I'm just going to quit. Like take your time out, and come back harder. Or you break up, fuck it. But I think it shows like real love and respect for the bands, like that they stick with it and come back and do
It shows that
amazing shit.
the people involved respect each other too, because for
Yeah.
a band to stay together that long, you have to still get along.
Yeah,
And if you don't, like, it's going to be obvious in the music as well.
absolutely.
Yeah, because we're still going to shows. We're still seeing each other at shows. We're still watching bands in the crowd, not on the side of the stage, like at shows. Like
No, you are
know?
hardcore.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes you have to go in a 6-year hibernation.
What's wrong with being on the side of the stage?
No, we all. Are.
JK.
All right, Greg, your turn.
I know I'm wrong.
What do you do here?
Greg is not queued up.
I'm not. I would actually kind of like to do a little bit of like a San Diego recap of some cool shit that came out this year. So it's not.
Hey,
just-
as a child of the '80s, you don't have to argue. Hit me with that montage.
I've got a couple San Diego references on my lists.
So, right off the bat, there was a fest that was done called Fear of Noise Fest, and it was like a 2-day punk, hardcore, and dare I say goth festival that was done a couple different places in San Diego. Yeah, it was put on by this a local band from here called Therapy, which has dropped a 7-inch right now, and they're kind of a
They curated it.
yeah. Well, they definitely put on Sean. Yeah, I'm trying to remember some of the other guys' names based on that. But yeah, and Therapy is a ripping band from here too. Just solid D beat sounding. Which is a lot of that is big in San Diego right now, but I think they're definitely leading it. They're the most dialed in. They sound really fucking good, and I just got to give them props for putting on any type of punk and hardcore festival in fucking San Diego right now because it's so barren down here. And talk about a city that absolutely is going out of its way to shut down like any type of cultural space or any type of space that's not, either a bar or if you're just trying to be like a standalone venue, you're not going to be able to survive. So for them to just put a fest and actually bring bands from out of town is really cool. So they just put out a new 7-inch. I got a shout out Head Count too, which is like the newer straight edge band, which I think is Safe Inside putting out.
Yeah, Safe Inside I think they're just re-releasing the demo on 7-inch.
Yeah, and I've got to see
With
them.
looking to do another record right
Oh,
after
I'm sure
I
they'll do
Think.
another one. But I wish they were just putting out new music. Although the songs fucking rip, so you kind of want to get them out there. That's a
Yeah,
hard decision. What way would you go?
I mean, I think it's just one of those, like an opportunity comes, like you already have the recording.
Yeah, might as
and-
well just do it.
Yeah, you might as well get a little bit more distribution.
I always think take 2 or 3 of the best songs and then combine them with 2 or 3 new ones that you just wrote and then put it out that way. Like
that
I think that's
too.
a good combo.
You hear that, Jimmy? Anyways.
runner.
That is exactly the no runners formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And-
make sure you keep song number 4 because that song's a ripper.
Yeah, and then another band, not a San Diego band from Tijuana, Violencia, and that is a, dare I say, power violence band. And I'm going to say for this year, some of the most angriest fucking vocals I've heard
Yeah.
in a long time.
So
Nice.
I've never seen them live, but all my friends go to all these shows.
They
So
fucking
through
just
Instagram
crush,
stories and Instagram posts and whatnot, I've just checked them out through that, and they're fucking rip. I can't wait to see them when I finally can.
Are they angrier than Impulse?
Yeah.
That Impulse dude was angry.
Nick was angry. Nick's still probably angry. He's like making short films now, so maybe
Angry
not as
films.
angry. I don't know. I think they're comedy, but isn't there a lot of angry in comedy?
Yeah.
So yeah, those bands right there, Violencia, Head Count, Therapy, San Diego, Tijuana area.
Well, one of
it.
my records on my list is a San Diego band that also played the Fear of Noise. Is the Bayonet Total Massacre 7-inch?
They should get lumped in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, because it was initially a demo, but then Dave Indecision put it out, and the way it's sequenced, the way it like flows with the little samples, and then each song is, I mean, it's like Infest with traditional mosh parts would be a descriptor, but it's hard to wrap your head around what it actually is.
No, I feel that. I mean, San Diego right now, I think that's like kind of like its sound that it's doing really well is definitely the more on the punk spectrum, either D-beat or power violence right now. Rare do you hear younger kids doing a more moshier side of the hardcore spectrum.
That's why it's kind of nice that the head count is kind of like the palate cleanser to a lot of the like crust that's formed around all the riffs down here. You know?
Definitely.
That's a nice mix. So,
and it's funny because the main songwriter for Bayonet at the time of these songs and the main songwriter of Headcount is the same person.
Oh, Mr. Matt Ants, right? Yeah.
Number 2, Daniel.
Well, I went to lots of shows in the 90s, and there's kind of a 90s revival going on right now, and a band that does it with a big fucking black X up front is Inclination, where fear turns to confidence. Mm-hmm. And it's a fucking really good, like, moshy, hate-breedy, strife record that has kind of bordering on the I won't say silly, because if you objectively view many straight edge lyrics like without kind of knowing what it is, it could all seem silly to some people.
I would never think that.
But it has breaks where it's just like an impassioned like call, and it just gives you those 90s vibes, like,
tell me the band's name again.
Inclination.
Okay. It's very hard to keep up with all the band names right now.
It is.
Like, I get them mixed up with like Incendiary and then I get that band mixed up with another band.
Well, and what's harder for me in modern times is like I'm checking lots of these bands out on Spotify first, without going to get the thing. So you remember parts more than you remember the whole record and stuff, or because Spotify and because culturally the way we consume music on there now, we'll like bounce from 2 songs here and then, okay, let me check out something else. You don't really on that app sit down and enjoy a record back to front as much, especially because the way they put the top 5 songs from an artist, it could be out of order or whatnot. So, but this is one where I do listen to it back to front a lot at work.
Have you bought the record yet?
No, I haven't, but I'm going to.
Inclination's on Pure Noise, right?
Is it? I don't know. I'm a Spotify
Well, no,
fan.
because there's...
I was wondering if you're going to take the step on...
No, I definitely am going to buy that.
It's got some heavy hitters in it. It's, I don't know the dude's name, but the guitar player of that band Knocked Loose, which is this like really popular metal.
Are they
from?
band.
Oh, is this a side project
well?
band?
Yeah.
No. So it's Louisville.
Yeah.
So, and then I know dude named Caleb, he played in Expire. He plays bass in this band too. And definitely like a band like for the Midwest area. And the singer is my dude Tyler Short. And that guy is just, people say like down for the core. Like that motherfucker is like absolutely down for the core. Like he's, like anytime we would roll through Louisville, I mean, first of all, just would book shows, him and his girl Alexander, and he'd be putting the shows on. He'd be fucking moshing. Every time I see him, he'd be like in a new cast because he'd fuck himself up, but he would just be like, I just can't stop.
Well, I mean, that guy, passion in these vocals
absolutely puts it down. So I'm so glad that
rules.
He's in a band and he's able to take that passion and get it on like a bigger platform, so people see like no one, like a singer that's not fucking posing or not posturing. Like this is just like this dude, and I've seen him because I met him back in 2011, 2012. I mean, that guy just like eats, breathes, shits hardcore music.
Well,
So
Chris
for him to-
Williams turned me on to this record. He's like, he came and hung out not that long ago, and he was like, "You need to listen to more modern hardcore."
Yeah.
And he's right. I do need to. I do need to. And he's like, "Check
Well, this
this
is like
out."
a perfect
This
modern
is the perfect
hardcore record for you to check out.
And when I heard it, and he's like, "You're gonna love the lyrics," and I do. Like, I love the passion that is coming through on the vocals. Is not bullshit.
You know what I like about this too? It's kids wanting to do like a 90s sounding hardcore band, but not in this like snotty like demo core dude way of aping just like a sound real quick so you can have like, oh, I play in the 90s band, but then I have a band that sounds like this, then I have a band like this.
Yeah.
Like you tell these dudes like they fucking love this sound. But there's still enough of that kind of like modern twist because they're taking their time and they're passionate about it, and they're not just, I mean, they're definitely going for an aesthetic, but in what you just said, you can tell like the passion is cutting through there. So that's what I also really like about this band. And it's cool too because, kids that might like that Knock Loose band will be like, oh, I heard the guitar players in this other band, and then they'll listen to this band, and then they'll be like, oh shit, and then they'll, that opens the portal, and then, then they'll 5 years later say that they never liked both of his bands, and then, they only like, whatever fucking obscure ass band from Japan or whatever.
No, just they're liking the radio. It's like rediscover Van Halen.
They also
Shit, you ever heard that song Jump? That's
They
just
also
way better
have-
than hardcore.
what really solidifies of where they kind of throw the dart into the bullseye of like referencing the 90s. They do those talky parts.
Oh yeah,
that
it's
sound like
a 90s staple.
like the intro to the Unbroken song where it's like it's the talky part before it.
Yeah.
They nailed that.
It's like the talkie part, and then for some reason, like the bass player dude has like he's putting his bass headstock on the ground. He's just kind of like grinding it for some reason.
And then
Everyone's-
this one guy off mic
I'm like,
just
why are they doing that?
then it kicks it.
That's
But-
passion.
But they definitely there's definitely some hate breedy stuff in there too as well.
Unavoidable.
Yeah.
Which the true sign of a great moshy straight edge record is that the pit can have a lot of X'd up hands and then also drunk fools just like moshing to it too. Like that is the sign to me of like a great straight edge album, is that it's so good that drunk dudes have to mosh to it as well.
Yeah.
How many of those are there?
No, that's
Well, I mean, the
Uniform
Judge
choice.
Pit had Shay was
Yeah,
like a
Slap
good
Shot.
mix of that. Slap
Shot
shot
forever.
yeah.
all right. What have you got?
I'm going Dead Heat, Certain Death. They're
Dear listener, Zach is wearing a Dead Heat hoodie.
oh yeah. Because
He's like the guy that wears the thing to the show.
Well, they make
when
the-
he talks about him.
they make the big boy. Yeah, switch out for the next one. They make the big boy sizes. So I love my Triple X Dead Heat hoodie. I love the blue. Dangerously close to a Take Offense logo, but
Well, like I said, all of our fucking bands are
I know.
just looking at an
like
aesthetic from
Excel.
like the late 80s, early 90s, and all doing our little like swing on it. So,
yeah. So what sets Dead Heat apart from the Heap? I would just say they're very high energy, and they come out and they're just there to rock and kick ass.
yeah.
It's not overthought at all, but they have some shit that makes me think, like some Greg ass riffs. Like they can go there, but then they also like back off it enough that it makes them like rad. That they just like they have. Sometimes they ease up in a little bit into like the. Like there's a thrash, like the technical, like the guitar, the fast picking and shit. But then you have like,
tremolo picking.
yeah, the tremolo picking. But then you have like, I don't know, like the more YOLO thrash, but on the metal side. They do both really well, and they're catchy. And
Is this YOLO?
that's the ultimate YOLO,
Yeah.
right? But
That's the DRI 7-inch.
yeah, and they're from Oxnard, and they fucking rule.
Do you hear Oxnard in them? Because like other bands, you can hear Oxnard in it. Do you hear it in them? Because that style is not traditionally. Well, it's weird to say it's not traditionally Oxnard because some of the bands that started out just being straight up Nardcore kind of delve into this later on in their careers.
Sounds a lot like that Stolly 13 demo from 1987.
Yeah, the one
No.
where you said there's a 13-minute ripper.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Oxnard sound is all over the place, so that's kind of hard to say. But I will say that Dead Heat does their own thing, and I love them for it.
Yeah, Anthony and Justin are rippers, man.
Yeah.
And, they are definitely like students of going back and, listening to records, actually listening to them, like I was saying earlier, where you're, really, really putting the ear to them and like hearing how guys played these licks, hearing how they dialed their tones, like doing the research, and then, giving it your own little twist, your own little taste on it. And then also too, just, in true Nard fashion, where it's just like, no matter what, like you are going to be reminded like very quickly within the opening set that this band is from Oxnard, you know,
which is ridiculous.
which is great.
And
So carrying that tradition alive.
Do you feel like when there's two guitar players that are like students, they kind of are pushing each other to just like
Oh yeah, totally. Because
achieve excellence?
yeah, or you just, I don't know, you just kind of like unlock certain things. You're like, oh, we could do this. Like, oh, your pinky can stretch over there. Like, shit, let's make a dumb riff out of this.
Sick.
So yeah, and like you said, perfect kind of sound, which you refer to as YOLO thrash, which is kind of that more like lighthearted, like early '90s kind of like more groovy sounding shit. So
Sure. I love it. I love the art. And
which was painted by Anthony himself, the
Yes.
guitar player. So
that's right. Well, I mean, he's a musical genius. He does a lot of other stuff as well, and loves bad movies like I do.
yeah, great mullet right now too,
Dude.
So yeah,
The man's got style.
very brave,
The man's
very
got style.
brave, and not many. It's like pulling off the mullet. You gotta be Mexican to do it, man. Like,
I don't know, be fat and pull off the mullet, then
Yeah.
come talk. When you're a skinny, good-looking dude, you can get away with a lot of things.
It's a soccer rocker when it's on like a Mexican dude at the swap meet or something. You're like, oh, this dude.
There's this one paisa that works on one of the crews at my work, and he has like one of the best. Like, I mean, at first I was just like, oh shit, this dude looks like a Canadian hockey player from like '86. Like, it's so curly, it looks so awesome.
Letter rules. Probably plays in Ibanez.
Probably.
All right, you're up.
I'm so not cued. You can edit these little transitions quicker.
What do we say? We'll edit when we get to 100 Patreons.
Okay, well, since we were talking about Tsunami and San Jose, I recently was able to check out the 2019 promo tape that Gulch put out.
Ooh.
And I've been seeing the snippets of the band. I follow the singer on Instagram, so shout out. That's
yeah.
cool.
Shout out Instagram.
Just hey, if you like a band, follow the member of the band on Instagram.
Or all of them,
It's easy.
if you
Yeah,
can,
hit all
track
of
them
up.
down.
Dude's a fellow carpenter like myself, so that's good.
And Jesus was one too.
Yeah, it always goes back.
Finally got Adam to giggle.
It
Oh
always
no, actually,
goes back, man.
Joseph was one. Jesus wasn't, right? Or was he like
Jesus
learning?
was
Jesus is a
carpenter,
carpenter.
too.
Was he
son.
learning?
Joseph was in the Carpenters.
Using the carpenter's
And
union.
John Carpenter is a great director too.
And a great musician.
Like
That's
I
true.
said, it all goes back.
No, hey.
No, but anyway, it's cool checking out this tape. When you're able, I'm a big fan of bands being able to blend a lot of different kind of sounds, a lot of different styles, and it doesn't sound like a jumbled mess, and it sounds cohesive, and it sounds unique to them.
As long as it's not fast melodic hardcore and mosh music.
Exactly.
The one combination you don't do.
I don't fuck with that. So, with Gulch, when I checked out this tape, I mean, I'm hearing like, you know, lo-fi black metal. I'm hearing, you know, crazy
Wild vocals.
some crazy Japanese shit. But then at the same time, like I'm hearing like some menacing like mosh coming in. So if you're able to kind of just blend all that in, and it's still just kind of also watching, I've seen just snippets of the live set and just like how absolutely like psycho it is. And it's not this, you know, like, oh, hey, it's time to play, like, let's act crazy. Like, no, it's just like, it looks like a switch goes off, and like once they start playing, and like I'm always like observing when everyone's like, dude, watch this band, they're fucking crazy, or it's like, all of these dudes are fucking tough, like all this shit, and then you realize like, no, like, yeah, this band sounds like a beatdown band, but like the fucking bass player plays in like a 90s sounding shoegaze band, and
His dad's a cop.
yeah, just shit like that takes you out of it immediately. Like when I watch Gulch, like this is like not the case. Like I feel like I'm watching like an old like video of like Siege or something, where it's just like really just like it looks like all the little switches go off in the head, and it's just like they're just in this zone. So I'm digging it. It's cool.
Are you the most familiar with this band?
I just saw him at Gilman, and they opened the Judge show, and the crowd, I mean, there was probably more participation for Judge, but the crowd was the wildest for Gulch, because they matched kind of the way the singer is on stage. The rest of the band was pretty, you know, like, we're going to play the riffs, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a wild sound. Like, it was like you say, there are all these things that are being blended, but you're trying to wrap your head around what's going on while it's going on. And then the singer's fucking high energy, scary-ish, you know, like, and...
Are you familiar with the other releases, though?
No, just the demo.
So they have like 2 tapes and a 10-inch?
Yeah, I don't know the 10-inch.
So we've never heard the 10-inch.
No, I've never heard, like, just recently got around to listening to this tape.
But I know they got beef with Tsunami.
Oh, shit. I don't know how that's going to play out.
But hey, it's kind of like, I think seeing a band live before you hear their recordings is, to me, still the way to go.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity.
You know?
But that
I also
that
like when a
two-song
band
tape,
just comes on stage and melts your face off, and
Exactly.
you've never seen them.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like,
great.
what?
I really enjoyed the tape that you played. I thought it was wild.
Yeah, and it's cool too
I
because
want it. It's just not enough format I want.
Yeah, someone left a little boombox outside by the trash cans the other day, and I squirreled it inside like a weird little homeless man, because I'm like, oh, now I can actually have demo tapes again.
and
I got some
another
decent tapes.
another thing
have a
what
tape player.
what I like about this too. Anytime I can shit on demo core and like hipsters going into hardcore, I always do. And how you just said how absolutely wild it sounds, and you're blending all this shit in. Like, to me, all of these bands that do that, like, you get into that territory of like just fucking like cool guy, like, we only listen to this, and like we only listen to here, we only go to these shows, blah blah blah. Like, that's not the vibe of this band at fucking all. Like, it's just like some actual.
What's happening in San Jose is like for the love of hardcore.
That's awesome.
It's a giant group of friends. From my observation, I'm not part of it. Where they're just doing these bands and having the best time in hardcore the way that we did, you know. And it's rad to see. And Joseph is a hell of a dog watcher.
This was a good choice. I've loved all these choices so far. You know, I'm waiting for Daniel to make a terrible error. But go ahead for number 3, huh?
Number 3, Rated X demo.
Okay. Not
Now-
familiar with it at all, so bring me up to speed.
Now, I've only listened to it on Bandcamp
Okay.
because I sent away, I paid for the 7-inch, which was the demo, got pressed on 7-inch, and I paid for it, and then he sent me my money back and was like, sorry, man, I sold them all.
That's
You
cool,
know,
though.
so- yeah, no, it's cool
Good
that
for
he
him.
sold them all, but not cool for me.
Well, and he returned your money. How,
Yeah. Oh.
how unlike a 7-inch putting out label.
Yeah, for
I'm all
sure.
about honesty. That's good.
But it is Tom from Violent Reaction and The Flex and a bunch of others, but it's really abrasive, fast, straight edge band that I just, being from the north of England and then this band is northern straight edge, like it's ticking all the boxes for me, but the sound is really fast, really abrasive, really, really cool, and very, probably tapping into a little bit of democore where they're like, I know what we want to sound like, and it is this, but they've perfected it. It's really good. And it's available to listen to on Bandcamp, and I don't think it's on Spotify.
Handle business.
Look, I only hate demo core because it's just
No, I know what you mean.
it's just kind of cheating. It's just
it's
like
side-eyeing. But
I just do this little thing and then we're gonna break up and we're not gonna like actually do our band. It's just I just always feel like it's always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
And I do see that happening a lot with things that I'm like, oh my god, I just checked this thing out and I
Yeah.
really like it, and by the time I've checked it out, they're done and they've moved on to something else.
I feel like I'm like my dad. Like pick one thing and stick to it. Damn it! Like
I feel
Show
that
some
way.
perseverance.
Remember, after the second in control show ever, we played Sacramento and we were up eating with Mikey Hood. And Mikey Hood's like, I don't respect a single band until they put out 3 LPs. I was like, ooh, that's a good barrier to entry.
So who does he like?
I don't know. This is somebody said.
hey, this guy's
Agnostic
just-
Front?
Yeah, it's probably.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe.
And Dire Straits.
3 LPs, that's ambitious.
But this, like, the imagery is super cool. It's 80s, but the really fast 100 miles an hour type stuff. So I really dig it.
Are
and
we talking about like blast beat fast or just pushing the fast beat where it's
It's almost that
gotcha
that
where it's almost
little
blasting.
line right
Gotcha.
in between where it's it's
Are they
like,
drawing the line at Atari or 97A?
it's that line in between. I mean, it's
Oh,
faster than Atari, but
Faster than the Atari 7-inch.
but not quite
fast.
97A, which is almost blast beat
And
and thrash.
less
you know.
octaves than Atari.
Yeah, no, it's very much like The Abused or something, like, just like like I don't know, it's just
Is
knuckly.
is their record label owner as big of a cock as Chris Kelly?
I don't think anyone is like that.
Anyway. Moving on. Number 3 from the voice of reason over here is I'm going the Division of Mind, the LP. It's actually just coming out this month, I believe. I've been listening to it since it's come out on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing. I think the pre-order's up. It's Triple B, but I swear to God, unless this is like, some albums they grab you right away and then they don't last forever and some are slow burns. I'm hoping that this isn't the former, because I swear to God, I think this is the best like heavy mosh album since Harm's Way Isolation. I could do without the 25-second weirdo intro. Like, cool, weird. But then it's just punishing mosh, which is like a lot of bands right now. But they avoid the like those, like the
Snap
like
Casey
the spooky chords.
Oh,
They avoid the spooky chords.
those little scratchy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
that,
it's full mosh. They fuck with a little bit of speed, but only to get you to the mosh. And then it's just heavy, heavy, heavy. Very similar to just like the reason why I love that Harm's Way Isolation record so much. It's just fucking punishing. It's like you're getting beat over the head by something over and over that's so heavy, yet like musically as catchy as that style of music could possibly be.
Well,
Without like the without feeling like they're trying to be creative, which is like what all that stuff is. Like,
I think
if I'm moving my arm around a lot on the guitar, then I'm interesting.
If something is this, for lack of a better term, like repetitious of a theme, but you can still keep listening to it and enjoying from song to song, they're doing something.
Well, they hit
very
every
right,
mosh tempo. They're going to hit every tempo, and it sounds beautiful. It's fucking great. I love it from first listen, and I hope I don't get tired of it. I never got tired of Isolation, and like that's the last one that grabbed me like this one. For I don't know if this is like a band that plays with like the HM2 stuff, but a lot of that stuff can be, I don't know. It's just it's really saturated right now, right? So to like cut through it is very interesting.
Yeah, just heavy hardcore in general.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got on this killer record, and I do believe it is pre-order on Triple B right now, or it may have shipped by the time this airs on January 1st. Greg?
Yeah, so let's leave the mosh. Well, we're gonna go to mosh, but with a little bit more up tempo of it, which would be a Mind Force Excalibur. We got to play with them the first time right around actually the Excalibur record release. We got to play with them in Brooklyn, so that's where I started hearing the record, and definitely.
You played with them at United Blood too.
Yeah, that's right too. Damn, Daniel knows more.
No, I just they were one of the bands that stood out for me from that weekend. That was 2017 United Blood, and I was like, oh, I like this band.
Yeah, they're great at just kind of building up to these parts, that you just know it's just going to completely fucking set the place off, and it's just like that perfect mix of just equal parts heavy, equal parts fast, absolute riffers too.
And
Which actually, dude, it's a fucking 4-piece. Sorry, it's not. It's
and some strong 90s vibes.
Oh, absolutely. So they're because I'm a fucking guitar nerd. So they're blending a lot of like that period of crossover and thrash from like the 80s and the early 90s, and that vocal style too, just to get that like loud but absolutely can hear every fucking word that he is saying. So that's just gonna like make kids immediately. I mean, it's just one of those bands where you're just gonna sing along, or you're just gonna hear the song, you're gonna remember like what they were saying. Super hook driven too. My favorite song is that song Nightmare, which has one of the most like, it's like a creeper pit, like the way they
Hey, like that one, Dan.
Yeah, it's like a creeper pit because it's just like dun 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 dun. Like the drums just drop like.
So it's like he pops up behind you and then moshes you.
Yeah, so like I'm a huge fan of just intelligent ass beating. Like this was like a.
Or
like we're going to
finding
drop
your own place.
Yeah, we're gonna drop like a complete ass whooper, but it's very sophisticated. So I'm a huge fucking fan of that. So great.
Shout out Kazushi Sakuraba.
Yeah. Great production. It's like totally can see why, and they just played the West Coast recently and smoked it out here too. So like I completely understand like why. Great band.
My takeaway from that, like seeing that band and then seeing Trailer Lies at the same time, I was like, God, I wish the guy from Mind Force sang in Trailer Lies. Like I just can't.
Oh, I strongly disagree with that. I love that guy's voice on Trailer Lies.
Are you serious?
And that, yes,
I can't.
Dude,
shout out to my man Tom Dumb.
That new, the new Trailer
love
Lies,
watching him on stage because he's like
that new Trailer Lies 7-inch. That's their 2019. That shit is fucking tight. It's probably my number 6.
The way he sings makes me want to jump out a window.
So, but one thing I think is
You don't think it could be one of those things where like you listen to it enough to where it clicks one day and you're like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
could be.
There's many bands, but the biggest band of that is The Fall. You know, like at first you like, oh, why does everybody love that? You know, and then it clicks, and then from there you're like, oh, this is the best band I've ever heard.
I don't know if you're. It doesn't seem like Trail of Lies would be an acquired taste. I think if you don't like it right away,
But I
lost on
like
you.
the music. I just was like,
I
the
think-
singing is a part of it.
I think my claim to fame could be seeing Tom Dom, who sings in Trail of Lies. He played bass in Naysayer years ago, and I remember on the first tour, Gary from Naysayer and the roadie Aaron Warman, they were like playing boys playing with knives essentially, and accidentally like Gary hit like a nerve in his hand, and his fucking arm was paralyzed. Or he's like, dude, I can't fucking feel my arm. So they took him to like the hospital. This is like Albuquerque.
oh god,
And
Fucking was on-
so like Tom Dom was like, hey, Tom Dom's gonna play bass, and not play bass, he's gonna sing tonight. And he was just like, dude, I don't think I've never like sang before. He's like, I'll do it, I guess. So I think I can say my claim to fame was seeing Tom Dom front a band for the first time, Albuquerque.
and you're like, don't change your voice at all. It's perfect.
No, it did not. It did not sound like how his Trail Lies voice sounds
Yeah.
right now.
I
Might have even. You probably would have preferred his filling in for Naysayer voice.
I'm quite sure I probably.
I
would.
can't even believe you guys. I don't know. It's not his voice, just a voice. No,
No, I think it matches just the.
Sounds burly.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, the music is just fucking pummeling
yes.
like that. I mean, like I think there's like a weight limit for that pit too.
I've
Like you gotta
seen-
be able to like bench a certain amount to even like mosh for that band.
Well,
so like you need that kind of like.
Everything else about them,
Yeah.
I love. I've seen them live more than I've listened to them because saw them live and didn't like his voice.
Never listened to him. So
No, I've listened
one
to
live,
him.
0 on record.
No, I've listened to him, but everything else about him is perfect. Guav does all their merch. Like everything is just like right on, you know. But anyway,
One thing I think that we should say about the Mind Force Excalibur is I think that like if we were going to make an objective list of the 10 best albums of the year, it would be on everyone's list. That the record is a fucking masterpiece.
No, it's
It's something that you can listen to, and even I actually enjoy it a lot. But I think I could listen to it objectively and say like that's a top 5, top 10 album of the year at least.
there's another one that's on my honorable mentions that is like a very well laid out record and very is the Abuse of Power. What on Earth Can We Do? LP, but that's an honorable mention, so I'm not gonna go into detail on it. But
they're from Atlanta, right?
yeah,
Okay.
All right, Daniel.
okay. I've already mentioned Bayonet as part of the San Diego wrap up. That was on my list. Next would be One Step Closer, From Me to You. I believe they're
Are they from Wilkes-Barre?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
and they sound like Turning Point in 2019. Like
Ooh.
And they're young. They're young
Unbelievable.
too, right? Pretty young. Good.
Everyone's young to us.
Or-
Fuck.
No, I think they are. They were a band. Didn't they play Sound of Fury in the upstairs room? Perhaps. I don't know. All I know is that this is another one that Posy Chris turned me onto, and I listened to it like for 2 days straight,
Huh.
like just over and over again. Because now we go back to demo core. I don't think this is demo core, like, but they are students of the game, where they are listening to the way the Turning Point guitar tones are, and other bands of that ilk, probably Verbal Assault and a few others, but they're getting that like guitar tone perfect. They're getting the way those
How about
songs
the,
were constructed.
The slap bass tone.
Not enough slap bass. That's the one thing holding them back.
Do they
Did
have?
you just say the one thing?
Do they have like the?
Maybe I'm becoming down to
You've been
life.
listening to too much Tsunami.
Do they have like the? Does Tsunami have slap bass?
No, but Daniel just said the one thing.
But maybe, well, maybe if anyone from Tsunami is listening to this, maybe we should get some slap bass in there to signify more slapping of fools in the
They
pit.
slap face,
Obviously.
dude.
Tsunami's the kind of band that they need to have the bass have 7 strings on it. You know, it's that like, but they're only playing the top 2.
Yes,
But it's that dude that came like, yo, this guy like plays bass.
yeah. So he's playing with his fingers, and the
He's got
bass
a
is
bass
like
player from the
high.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
The
Yeah, no,
neighborhood.
when I saw the video and he was just like, "There's 2 types of people in this world. You're not from the Bay Area, bitch." I was like, I'm a bitch. Like I'd be so bummed to be in the vicinity of like that pit.
For real. I told Joseph the next day when I saw that.
You're either
like,
from Walnut Creek or you're a bitch.
Yeah. I told him when I saw that, I was like, I would have hated to be there last night.
Yeah, you would have,
Like,
like I said, you would have wrote a whole EP about how
You are from the Bay
for
now.
I mean, kinda.
No, I love just like we're local, fuck you attitude.
Yeah.
Like I will always love that shit. Like
Yeah.
absolutely.
They got to dial it in a little hard for me to love it.
So
Just-
some slap bass might do it for you.
No, I mean, I love the Tsunami demo. I ride for that really dialed in regional shit. You know, you gotta be like, if you're not from West Side, San Jose, you know, not the Bay Area. That's so big.
It's too big. Yeah.
yeah, it's
too
claiming,
Sort of, but I mean,
hey, dude, and I'm not claiming SoCal. You know?
if you're not from SoCal,
big. You wanted to get more refined, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You guys are in a combining San Diego and Orange County, aren't you?
fuck off. If you're not from 92117, you're a bitch.
Just for anyone listening to this, Orange County and San Diego are completely 2 different fucking universes. And
Yeah.
to lump the 2 in one, I mean, I might as well just say, oh, fucking New Jersey and Philadelphia are the same fucking place.
They're actually
Sports fans are the same.
more
right?
the same place than OC and San Diego are, in my opinion.
I just,
Anyway,
anyways.
All I know
getting
about
back
is
to this
Central
band,
California, so I don't know.
One Step Closer from Me to You. I believe it's on Triple B, and it is a ripper. It is very much worth checking out, and especially if you like fast-paced, Turning Point-esque melodic hardcore with the emphasis on the hardcore and not being just derailed by melody.
Chris and Aram are going to do a band.
Yeah, I've listened to it.
Oh, they've recorded.
Yeah, it's really good.
Does One Step Closer have like an Alone style song? That's the turn. Is
They're-
it?
You should listen to
Check
it.
it out.
They're doing more of the It's Always Darkest kind of sound, but
Yeah.
there are elements of the Turning Point 7-inch songs as well, like Thursday and things like that.
I think he told me.
Yeah.
I'm into it. My number 4, and these aren't ranked in order for
Yeah.
people. I'm just keeping track because I'm looking on a list. Eyes of the Lord, Misery Feels Like Home.
Is it Eyes of the Lord?
It's Eyes of the Lord.
Well,
I think.
I'm out.
Not duh, right?
I'm just kidding.
It's on Closed Casket. And this is the singer, the first singer of
100 Demons.
100
right?
Demons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his voice is just fucking grown. You know? He's a grown ass dude, you know. And I love it. It's a nice toss back. I used to love what was the first 100 Demons called? It was Eyes of the Lord, right?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that record all the time. It was brutal and raw in a way that it was not tight like the way that most of like that heavy mosh metal is. It's pretty loose. I hate to use the word sloppy because it wasn't sloppy. It was looser and not overly tight.
It was
Well,
Connecticut.
because it's some of the first
of that stuff.
of that style too. So
Yeah, like they didn't know how tight they need, but it was also after the Marauder record, right? And that's like the epitome of a tight record. But I think it goes
true,
to show
but
that
that's like
it goes to
Marauder getting on Century back then and actually getting like
Real time,
money to be
real
able
time.
to go into something.
Yeah.
I
And-
think there's
actually-
something about Connecticut bands though that have a bit of kind of like
I think the
sloppiness. looseness is
sound,
better.
yeah.
Sloppy's not
the
right.
looseness is like it added to it, and if they're showing them the parameters can go from like that 100 Demons to the Marauder, and that's like the perfect pocket for like the heavy drop tune mosh band. But anyway, this record fucking rocks.
Did you like 100 Demons when the singer changed? Like, did you feel it lost something, or did you ride
Pete
for those
before
next
Reality
records?
came in.
well, it got that guy knew how to sing,
Yeah,
right? I feel like that guy sang a little more.
Dude,
maybe
when-
I don't remember.
he's a really
when he
good
does
frontman,
when he is
too.
just dying my whole nose. That shit is. I get
don't
pumped, dude.
I don't remember. I just remember the.
My whole nose. This shit's fucking like.
Jesus.
It's so good.
I remember we toured Europe and were paired up with 100 Demons on many shows, and we just thought that they just must have looked at us like, "What is this pussy shit?"
Yeah. Well, compared.
Yeah.
Well, my band. Well, any band compared to 100 Demons, you're just pussy shit. Obviously.
Dude, you could come with 70 demons and still be a pussy
Yeah.
band.
But they also beat us
Be
to the
101
venue.
demons, and you'd still be pussy.
They beat us to the venue every time, and they just housed the buffet or whatever people had left out for us every single time. We're like, oh fuck.
Well, you got to go hit that dumpster, dude, Portland style.
Yeah.
So you were
Eugene
just,
Eugene.
so they were like, they were Chads, and you were the betas.
Oh, we were beta cooks
Yeah.
all over. Except for Aaron was like, I'm going to fuck them all up. Like, and I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you might do good against a couple.
Nah,
But,
that
yeah.
wouldn't have been a good move.
No. So anyway, this Eyes of the Lord it does that impossible job of being hard but catchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. It's
Well,
hard but
that's-
catchy. And then also a lot of
Is
like
it on Death Wish?
it's on Closed Casket, I believe.
Oh, Closed Casket.
And a lot of the mosh stuff is really cool. Like they go to weird tempos, but they're not doing like straight beats. They're just doing like enunciations on the drums. The drumming is great.
Well, this is that's because it's the Young Bros.
Oh.
So Colin Young's drumming in it, and Taylor Young's playing guitar. So
Shows what I know.
So that's why, and I mean, they originally are from Connecticut.
That's right.
So I think this was, both of them loving Connecticut hardcore and loving 100 Demons and all that stuff. I think that was, they reached out and
Yo,
they were
sing for our band.
yeah, or it's like, hey, let's do a band together,
Yeah.
and they put it together too. So that's and that's kind of like a staple of like a lot of their writing too. Because I mean, it's gonna be that locked in because it's literally two brothers playing with each other that have been playing with
Shout
each
out
other
to the
for-
Melnicks.
for fucking ever, right? So those tempo changes and like the drums, and also too, Taylor plays drums as well. They're all fucking multi-instrumentalists and shit. So, that's why you're getting a lot of that kind of sound. And then also, aren't we that like a lot of lyrical content of a lot of like PTSD kind of
Well, that was like I think that's the catchiest song on the record.
Yeah.
And that was cool because it was kind of like a storytelling song.
which is
I was just 15 in 1983.
Yeah.
It's like fucking yes.
yes, and
Sounds so rad.
which is kind of more refreshing to hear, maybe like a hard storytelling over than just like some fucking typical kill you guy lyric,
Sure.
which is
I love
which
when
I love me a kill you guy lyric, but
Yeah, but I love when a hard life
Can-
bears its soul.
Yeah, and it matches the intensity too. So yeah, I can see why this is.
I didn't know that's who
checklist.
the band was.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I didn't know it
now
was.
if they just follow, if they cover "You Booze You Lose," they got me by Follow Through. One of the greatest Stranger songs ever, or underrated Stranger song.
Is it one where drunk guys will get in the pit?
Dude, well, me, but I'm not. Just because you're not straight edge doesn't mean you're drunk. Jesus.
also
As he's got his little whiskey
saw like a video
snifter
Yeah,
in his
watch.
hand.
I'm not drunk.
where the singer of Eyes of the Lord it's just like has a shirt that says like "fuck your GoFundMe." So that like what that is like, dude, like this is like an insurance policy pit, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like you're only going into this if like you're insured, like.
Holy shit, that is the sickest thing I've ever heard.
Anyway, this record rips, so you should get it. That's it. That's my number 4. Gregory,
I'm gonna put up Section Hate Winter Games.
I
And
love this record.
Kind of also cool, just great cover art. Just this kind of wild,
Kind of like the Miami Vice vibe.
yeah, Miami Vice theme. With like just
Like it.
Drive.
obviously, references to some, bad boy party stuff.
Yeah.
Some talking powder maybe. But yeah, and another thing, what I brought up with Gulch too is where you're talking about a band that can just blend all sorts of different styles, but then make it kind of like their own thing. And I think that's what's so cool about Section Hate
This
is
the
being
song,
being able to play like mad, ripping, fast Mexi's delivery, and then switch it into kind of like a more bouncy, maybe kind of like Cold as Life part out of nowhere.
That song with all the backups,
Yeah.
it's like mind blowing that they pulled that off.
There you go.
Yeah,
And it's
great radio.
just to see it going to like watch them too, just like the vibe that of just them going on there. I mean, I just love Mike as a singer,
Yeah.
just as a front man.
No, me too. All the
You
way
know.
back to Furious Styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy is always he's laying it down creatively.
Yeah, totally.
He's not trying to like be generic ever.
Yeah, no. Every one of his bands has like his twist, his way of being like, how can I make this like my thing? And I think with Section 8, this is definitely like I'd say the little more adventurous of his bands.
What's the molding of
Yeah,
his
kinda-
two most
kinda all
well-known
of it,
bands,
yeah.
right?
Almost, yeah. You'd say that's like Nomads and Furious,
Yeah.
getting mashed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, and I'd say it's such a skill to be able to blend, like how do I have some, raging, fast D-beat shit hit into like a Cold as Life style pit, like you got to be able to, you just have to listen to tons of this music and just be, completely like embedded in the culture of it. To
Well,
be
that's
able
the
to just
thing
kinda
is-
create.
Listening to something like this or the Gulch, like that tape, it's like you can tell that the band is true fans of music.
Absolutely.
Like these guys listen to a lot of shit. Definitely not single influence bands, So I love this pick.
Yeah,
I
and
hope this record comes out. It's still just digital, right?
I think it might be just,
Stuck in the digital airwaves. Did the first one come out on 7-inch?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it did. Flat Spot put it out.
Okay, someone's got to do this second one, man. Or maybe have them do like a third digital one and then toss them all in LP. That's the one. Awesome, huh? It's a great angle to take. Daniel's looking at the artwork for the Section Hate. Sick, no?
I mean, it's funny.
I think it's rad. Because there's nothing really like it.
No, I think it's a good, yeah, like you just said, standing out. When you look at that, like like it almost reminds me of like an old, like it's like a sketchy Nintendo game that I'm gonna play. That like,
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
like a very sketch, like a Nintendo game that I bought like behind the
From Thorns.
behind the counter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing.
He was like,
you're playing Russian Attack, and it comes to that stage where you just have to stab dogs.
yeah, or some guy was like, "Hey, they only made like 50 of these in Japan. Like it was never supposed to be seen.
Yeah.
It was made for just like Yakuza dudes only. But here, play it. Like that's the vibe of it. But I also just love how it's just like actual bad boy shit is going on. So it's just,
Agreed.
Yeah, I like it.
They let loose.
They let loose.
Daniel, number 5. Or do you want to do your list of 20 honorable mentions first?
Restraining Order, This World Is Too Much.
This record rules, and I love the cover.
Yeah.
The simplicity and beauty of it is awesome. I think that a lot of times we forget that like hardcore music is art, and like the things that
It's a total package.
yeah, sometimes things that we think are generic, like bands jumping and stuff, like there is like, that doesn't move across all spectrums of music. A lot of it is very unique to hardcore.
It's perfect, though,
Yeah.
right? It's stylized.
It's a beautiful jump. The photo's beautiful. It gives glory to that photographer who
Yeah.
took it.
Probably, is it Angela Owens? Or whatever. I'm terrible with all that. I should just shut up. What I love about this band is that they're fast. They're kind of catchy. They're straight ahead hardcore, but they've got bouncy, punky parts. It's just, and the tempos do go up and down from song to song. That keeps you interested, and some of the lyrics are really, kind of thoughtful. I mean, I know it's hardcore music. For the most part, people are going to be writing lyrics that are thoughtful or personal to them, but some people do it better than others. There's a song on there that's talking about people leaving the scene, but the interesting take on it is that they're pointing the finger back at the scene saying, well, maybe this is the reason that people are leaving, because we need to do better, and I found that to be
Hey, don't blame me
pretty
for
cool.
posers, man.
See, that's the attitude that, go for it.
Is that the right button?
If you have the
Yes.
right one, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, that's me.
I don't remember.
I completely forgot. We're about an hour 30 into this podcast, and I completely forgot that we had this gem in here.
Well, I never want to be a pod that over abuses that stuff. So, an hour and a half in, you guys earned it.
But yeah, I think the total package of that record, the only thing I would say is maybe there's too many songs. And
I would say
I'm always a fan of
in defense
editing.
of that, you had just said that like this is a guy that can take like hardcore topics that have been tread over many times and have a better take on it than most people. So maybe he's coming at it from that poetic stance that he actually has to get a lot of shit off his chest. Like
no, that's valid. But like even a record like, I don't know, Rancid Let's Go or Rancid Out Come the Wolves, there's like 24, 22 songs on those. If they could edit it down to like 16 or this
man, if this DRI
Dirty
Savage only
Rodney
has 16 songs on it instead of 22.
What you're holding in your hands is a copy of the Bible, essentially.
but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you record something and then as just musicians in bands, you record something, you go away with everything you've recorded and really think about it, like, because you can always pull songs to be on something else, 7-inch or something later anyway, if you've recorded them, but just think about the whole thing and be like, does this need all of it? If it does, it does, Mm-hmm. I mean, I may only be saying that it feels like there's too many songs just for the simple fact that we live in such a transient moment now where
We've all been
it's hard to...
we've been fucked by Spotify. and
Yeah.
by social media of like
Instantaneous
instant gratification
everything,
of
yeah.
not selling anything. So
I mean, that talking about Spotify, I mean, that is true because even when we wanted to put the record out, like I wanted to put like the single "Keep an Eye Out" first, right? But everyone's like, no, you need to put out the single that's right around 2 minutes and 15 seconds because that way it gets into all the algorithms and it gets into all the playlists and all that shit. So think of something like that, multiply it by a fucking million songs.
So, but we grew up
Different
on,
artists,
and
yeah.
I'm talking like mainstream musical culture now, not just hardcore music. We grew up with where albums like like a David Bowie record was thought about. Well, side 1 is going to be this, side 2 is going to be this. Now Apple Music records front load the shit out of the album, so you get the maximum play. So the first 3 or 4 singles are the first 4 songs on the record, and then the drop off is hard. On I don't know, like a Ariana Grande record or whatever. Anyway, that's my final pick.
cool. My final pick is the band Minus and their record Compulsion. This came out. Travis put it out, and let me see if I wrote that down or not. No, I can't remember this record label. Do you? Feral Ward? Is that it?
I think that might be it.
Okay. This fucking record rules. And it's Minus. I think that they really found their own sound on this record, which is crazy because they've done an LP before. They've done, I think, a 7-inch and a split 7-inch before that as well. This, I believe, is currently the best band that combines mosh and speed together. So where maybe the Restraining Order band, they did speed well. They don't hit this like super hard mosh. And Minus is really going hard on both. And it's just it's a really creative record. A lot of YOLO in there. They hit like the crazy mid-tempo banger in there, like just true punk song, And I love it. Number 5 on my list for the year.
No, that one's ripping, and they've always, I even think from the jump, been able to do hard and fast. Ever since the demo came out, and geez, when the fuck did that demo come out?
Have you seen them play recently?
They've been a band for 10 years, right?
They have. I've seen them. Yeah, they definitely have. So I've toured with them. So I've seen them times where it was. They definitely haven't been playing for a while, but we've all had those moments in playing in bands where it's just like you didn't get to practice, you haven't been able to get the swing in it. And then I've seen them at times where they've just been completely dialed in, and the place is absolutely fucking going, crazy. So
Sick.
I love them. And it makes me happy when a band I like is doing their best shit. Like, especially later. It goes with like the same thing with the Down Presser and the Take Offense, like to show that like some perseverance and stick-to-itiveness, sometimes it pays off,
too dumb to quit, baby.
Too dumb to quit. So that's what I got for 2019, the 5 best records. Your last one?
I don't actually. It was hard for me to kind of just get 3 and then kind of like a San Diego recap. Not on some too cool for school shit, but
That's
just
what it sounds like.
Well, I don't know. Let's go. Let's have Daniel fill in this blank space. Give us 15 more, Daniel.
Like I'm the current hardcore export.
Well, you're the
around
cheater
there.
of the 3 of us.
Method of Doubt, Accepting What We Know. Another one Chris turned me on to that's very Revolution Summer Discordy sound, but
here we
Ooh,
go.
tell me more. Okay, moving on.
but also very straightforward hardcore at the same time. That Abuse of Power, What on Earth Can We Do?
Cool.
Good LP. I have the Headcount demo. And
Headcount?
Antagonize, the Slip Death, which is the 2019 release of the band, but I actually preferred the demo a bit more than I prefer the full length kind of thing. But that's Bedard's new band. And,
Oh, cool.
and it's ripping. The only critique I would have for it is that it's a little bit samey. Like there's no divergent, I mean there is divergence, but no major divergence from song to song that allow you to.
They need to write their malfunction.
Yeah, like they just need to have something that's just it's the one like odd song in the mix, and I'm sure it'll come.
What did it say?
Yeah.
Should I say Secrets of the Truth?
Yes.
Okay.
But isn't that two?
Well, that's good.
And then my non-core recommendation of the year, like my number one, would be Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Ghost Teen. And I really highly recommend everybody out there to listen to this record. It's
This is
absolutely
a brand
beautiful.
new 2019 Nick Cave.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's unbelievable. It's beautiful.
The only time I've ever
Oh god. Look at the look at the way
Heard.
he's like that drunk dude at the end of the bar. The only time.
I actually heard a Nick Cave song was the Peaky Blinders intro.
And you've heard it many times then, if you've watched the season.
Well, I think
Is
that's
that
awesome.
is that how every song sounds from Nick Cave?
No.
Bummer.
That's cool that his newest album is awesome. Leonard Cohen's last album is awesome.
Yeah.
All the stuff at the end of Johnny Cash's career is awesome.
What, you saying Nick Cave's about to die?
No, I'm just saying he's been doing it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, so is there anyone currently out that has been doing that you like a lot that's been doing music longer than him?
No, I think he's the best artist on the planet at the moment.
Well, it's because Tom Waits is not that active. He's older.
He did, when I went to the Nick Cave Q&A where the audience gets to ask him questions, he said he would absolutely love to collaborate with Tom Waits. And I think they really would get each other very well,
Yeah. All right. I think that was a nice add-on.
No non-core recommendations from you two?
No, it's a hardcore podcast.
Thank you, Rick.
Hey, everyone, Happy New Year's. Have a awesome 2020.
What year is it, Chinese-wise?
Oh, I don't know. But can we just keep it positive and let me say a little thing about 2020?
I've got 2020 vision.
Hey, 2020 is going to be a good year. Yeah. Call your friends, call your family, tell them you love them, and stay positive. You got anything for 2020?
You say positive, I say fuck that.
There was just a lot of shitty bands at the time, dude. That was a. You say inward facing and outward facing, right? It was a little more inward facing. That was 20. Greg, 2020.
Try not to compare your life to other people's lives. Everyone has different shit going on, different experiences, and sometimes if you don't think that you're moving at all, you actually probably are moving compared to what you're perceiving other people's like forward movement. Pretty much maybe don't get caught into the whole comparing yourself on social media. I think that's really bad. Take a break from that if you can, or just make fun of it. Realize that that's just a joke. And I don't know, like you said, I mean, check in with your friends.
Yeah, and with the social media stuff, like people, they do eat themselves up comparing it, right?
Yeah.
And I think everyone needs to find you only got one life. There's only one you, so find some things you love about yourself and feel good about them. Swing your dick,
Hit a pit if you can.
slam more this
No,
year.
seriously, like it feels really good.
Yeah, slamming rules. Stage diving is the best. Just don't break your neck.
2020's year of the rat.
Yeah. Hey, oh, did you hear? I was mentioning that if I get to 150 ratings, I'll do a deep dive on Fugazi. So
I better get those pen names going.
I'm already up to 104. So
Sick.
get it going.
Can I be a guest on that pod? No, that means no.
It'd be easier if I just do it.
I would say in 2020, like, it's important to check in with yourself and realize that Embrace and Fugazi are hardcore bands. No, just kidding. Happy 2020, everyone. Let's hope it is better politically than 2019, because what's happened in England and what's currently happening in America is fucking terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for ending on that happy note, Daniel. I'm going to go listen to some.
What are you going to listen to?
I don't know, dude.
25 to Life.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash that Patreon.